In the face of economic challenges, Chinese local governments have adopted various measures to address budget shortfalls and reduce debt. The struggle is evident in the stories of unpaid salaries for teachers, financial constraints leading to cuts in public services, and negatively innovative methods to boost revenue. On 3 November in Jingxian County, Nanchang, Jiangxi Province, primary and secondary teachers collectively protested in front of the county government due to the issue of not receiving their complete salaries. Netizens report that for the past 2 years since the outbreak of the pandemic, teachers have not received their full salaries and year-end bonuses have also been withheld. High school teachers, in particular, receive a monthly wage of only 1,000 yuan, equivalent to $150, which is insufficient for living expenses, effectively making it a situation where they are working at a financial loss. Teachers are feeling more financial stress, especially since last year, when the county didn't have enough money. As a result, they haven't been paid for several months, and usually that's a big part of what they earn. On top of that, they didn't get any extra bonuses for good performance. Because of these tough money problems, they've had to go out late at night, hoping to find fairness for their situation. In March of this year, an online video depicted nearly 20 uniformed personnel standing in front of the Harbin branch of China Post, pulling out a banner measuring approximately 30 meters long. They chanted slogans, "China Post isn't paying salaries, owes employees 6 months' worth of wages," and cutting employee wages. Additionally, another video showed over 30 tax officials holding up white papers and raising banners to demand their salaries in front of the Zhenjiang Taxation Bureau branch office Jiangsu province to protest the agency's failure to pay its employees. 2 banners read Zhenjiang Taxation Bureau owes employee wages and Zhenjiang Taxation Bureau Director Xi'an is unworthy of the position. 3 years of strict pandemic controls in China and a real estate crash have drained local government coffers, leaving authorities across the country struggling with mountains of debt. The problem has gotten so extreme that some cities currently cannot provide basic services, and the default risk is rising. Analysts estimate China's outstanding government debts surpassed 123 trillion yuan, about $18 trillion last year, of which nearly $10 trillion in so-called hidden debt owed by risky local government financing platforms backed by cities or provinces. As the financial pressure has mounted, regional governments have reportedly been slashing wages, cutting transportation services, reducing fuel subsidies in the middle of a harsh winter, and more. Slashing wages for civil servants. According to state media reports, Hegang, the city in Heilongjiang province, made history in early 2022 by becoming the first to be forced to undergo a fiscal restructuring due to grave debt distress. As a result, it must cut spending on infrastructure projects, reduce government subsidies to industries, stop hiring new staff, and sell assets, according to rules published by the State Council. Public sector jobs, considered the most secure in the country, were also affected elsewhere. In June, several wealthy eastern provinces, including Guangdong, Zhejiang, and Jiangsu, slashed pay by 30%. Since the beginning of this year, there has been frequent news about salary cuts or deductions for civil servants in prosperous provinces such as Guangdong, Zhejiang, and Fujian. According to sources, the Guangdong Provincial Authority recently held a meeting regarding civil servant salaries, explicitly stating those who used to receive $1,600, about 12,000 RMB, can now only receive $1,200. Those who used to receive $2,000 can now only receive $1,500. Many provinces and cities nationwide have also reduced civil servant salaries. Among these, Zhejiang has cut wages by 25%, Jiangsu has cut salaries by 15%, and Fujian has cut wages by 20%. Even in Beijing, Shanghai, Guangzhou, and Shenzhen, financial resources from sales of government land use rights have decreased significantly and need to be increased to support government spending. The budget for the next 6 months must be increased for ongoing operations. A large-scale salary arrears situation has unfolded since the beginning of this year. Civil servants in places such as Jiangsu, Tianjin, Guangdong, and other major economic provinces have either been owed salaries or suffered reduced wages due to financial constraints. Recently, Jiangsu province introduced new measures requiring technical experts to take a 3-year break from their jobs to start businesses, drawing public attention. Request for civil servants to take a 3-year leave to start businesses. A recent announcement by 14 provincial government departments in Jiangsu province specifies that technical professionals in government agencies will maintain their personnel status for 3 years after taking leave to start businesses. In addition to leaving their jobs to start businesses, technical professionals in government organizations can also engage in business activities through part-time work, temporary employment, and project collaboration. Before this, the State Council and the Ministry of Social Security of the Chinese Communist Party had issued similar documents in 2015 and 2017, encouraging technical and professional staff in government agencies to leave and start their businesses. The government will provide these individuals 3 years of job positions and basic benefits during this period. Apart from Jiangsu, Anhui, Shandong, Hainan, Fujian, and other regions have all enacted regulations or documents requiring technical and scientific staff from government organizations to reduce their job positions and venture into business endeavors going out to the sea to start a business. Jiangsu is a leading province in China in promoting entrepreneurship among its employees, bringing to mind a wave of layoffs in the 1990s. One netizen commented, "When I hear the term going out to sea to start a business, it reminds me of the past. Young people may ask their parents if there used to be a term called keeping a job without pay, which is no longer mentioned. This term has returned. Could it be the start of a new wave?" Another person said, "This is a way to lay off employees secretly, and everything will change after they leave." Some netizens sarcastically remarked, "In 1992, the government introduced our going out to sea to start a business policy. And in 2023, we're going down the oil pan serving the government's interests. Even if my business venture is successful in 3 years, my old position will belong to someone else. The government job is so good, who would agree to leave their position to go out to seas to start a business? When you return, keeping your old position will cost a lot of money. Listen to my advice, don't be deceived. If you go out to start a business, you may not be able to return unless your family has extensive connections and a strong foundation." Amid the real estate market crisis causing a domino effect across the country, local government officials are increasing their efforts to solicit funds from private enterprises, cutting transportation services. Since last year, public transportation in Xi'an County, Liaoning Province, Mohe County, Heilongjiang Province, and Dingbian County, Shaanxi Province all announced the shutdown due to suffering losses. According to NetEase, Shaanxi Bus Company in Henan Province unexpectedly issued a notice on February 23 saying due to the pandemic, the adjusted new national energy subsidy policy, lack of financial support, and other factors, the company has suffered severe losses, extreme difficulty operating, inability to pay workers' wages, social insurance payments debt, bus charger debt, bus insurance debt. It has no money to purchase materials and continue operating. According to the plan, bus routes in Shaanxi City has been suspended from March 1, 2023. The Daily News reported that Shaanxi Bus Company had not paid its employees for 5 months. I guess they have to act quickly. It shows local finances are very tight right now, so the government is struggling to get people to buy houses. Some localities seem more anxious to sell land than the real estate sellers. Facing the shipwreck effect, officials increased their efforts to solicit funds from private enterprises. In an interview with RFA, a well-known entrepreneur familiar with the situation stated that the financial resources in Tianjin province had run dry, and the government's only choice was to burden businesses with increased taxes. The economic situation in Shanghai is also worsening, adding to the domino effect of local government debt. Local officials are aggressively extracting money from businesses under their jurisdiction. Companies directly under local management have become direct victims of these actions. Furthermore, the financial crisis has caused the Tianjin Public Transport Group to struggle to maintain its basic operations. Toy company explained, Tianjin has experienced a financial collapse and the debt has far exceeded output value. In Tianjin, corporate income taxes must be paid quarterly. In the first quarter, invoices issued by companies are considered their income, and companies must pay income taxes. However, they won't receive the money until the fourth quarter. As a result, the burden of corporate taxes is exceptionally high. Consequently, the business environment in Tianjin is impoverished. Many believe high-ranking officials hold their positions while lower-ranking officials engage in recreational activities. However, this is not the reality. Basic-level officials are burdened with heavy financial demands, and the situation worsens. Every transaction is recorded on invoices, making the business environment even worse. This year, I was fined almost 100,000. To maintain stability under the financial strain, local governments continue to issue local debt bonds by taking on new debt to repay the old ones. Local governments that have run out of money plan to issue new local debt bonds to temporarily reduce the pressure of the current debt interest rates. Among these, Tianjin and Zhejiang have the highest local debt interest rates and are leading in local debt bonds. While the Chinese Ministry of Finance reported that the total local government debt reached $5.6 trillion by the end of April, the International Monetary Fund estimated the total hidden debt of local Chinese governments at $9.03 trillion by the end of April. In other words, the average debt per person in China is $6,400. Reducing fuel subsidies in the middle of a harsh winter. Thousands of people in the northern province of Hebei had trouble heating their homes in November and December because of a shortage of natural gas, according to multiple Chinese media reports. Cuts in government subsidies were partly to blame, according to state-owned news site Xi'an. In January, in the northernmost province of Heilongjiang, households in Hegang were also left without heat after local firms severely restricted supply. The companies blamed the move on a lack of government subsidies. The lack of heating in the dead of winter has led to widespread complaints on social media. The central government in Beijing responded by ordering cities to provide adequate heating, but without specifying who would pay the bills, relying on administrative fines to increase revenue. A recent online viral video depicted extensive traffic congestion on the national highway, particularly around bus stations. The long lines took people aback, and some expressed their amazement, saying, "Chongqing has already ushered in the Spring Festival. Why are so many people here?" The reasoning behind this endeavor was Chongqing's response to the National Day holiday, commencing a fresh phase of traffic management. Changchun authorities sent 200 special police officers, 98 urban police station support personnel, and the traffic management support force from the local government of districts, counties, and the Industrial Development Management Board industrial zones to significant roadways and critical traffic intersections in the city. They aim to support coordinated traffic management, prevent traffic violations, and enhance strict traffic control. Residents say that, in reality, this is a form of covert fines. Traffic police officers issue fines day and night. If you park in a location without parking lines, you'll receive a $27 penalty. Some traffic police officers affix infringement notices on cars at 9 or 10 p.m., upsetting people. People criticize them for issuing fines even at midnight, which might be the first time such a scene has occurred. However, some believe that traffic police officers in other places secretly attach tickets at 4 a.m. Traffic police, to fool people into committing additional violations, have devised and in a van, they paint arrows indicating where to park, and you will be fined if you transgress. However, people soon woke up and parked their vehicles in the designated spaces obediently. As a result, it became more challenging for traffic police to issue fines. Therefore, they devised a new method by reducing the number of parking spaces on the road. Cars wouldn't disappear from the streets, but parking spaces would significantly decrease. Traffic police can finally collect money regularly when they hit the road. Some people follow the parking regulations but still receive fines the next day. The reason is that the parking lines have disappeared. So, many people have started parking their cars and taking photos and videos as evidence. To increase the chances of people receiving fines, traffic police officers also specially mark yellow lines at roundabouts and locations where it's easy to cross parking lines. If you cross these lines, you will be fined, contributing to worsening traffic congestion. In reality, it's not just in Xi'an. In many cities in China, urban management, traffic police, and agriculture management officials are omnipresent. They rely on administrative fines to increase their income. Account Luo Xiang, who has 100,000 followers, revealed on the X social platform, formerly Twitter, in July that a farmer was fined $60,000 for slaughtering 5 of his pigs, while another farmer earned less than $2 from selling celery and was fined over $13,000. In another incident, some overzealous traffic police rushed into the middle of the road to stop a fast-moving electric vehicle, which struck them, throwing them several meters. On the evening of July 3, a traffic police officer stopped traffic on Jiang'an Bridge in Xi'an, Fujian Province, causing a severe traffic accident. The traffic policeman was seriously injured when crushed by a car. Besides, another way for Chinese government to increase revenue is that, on the one hand, it allows many cities in China to encourage people to sell their products at designated locations amid economic hardships and high unemployment rates. On the other hand, however, the Chinese government has imposed strict and often unreasonable regulations to impose heavy fines and even confiscate property from the citizens. There are too many heartbreaking cases of unreasonable regulations that we can see clearly in China. Recently, a video that has attracted widespread attention has gone viral on social media. According to reports, in a certain location, a melon farmer who was selling his produce by the roadside faced enforcement action by urban management officers. As a result, 2 vehicles loaded with his melons were towed away. The melon farmer was heard crying out, "I can't live without my melons." Melon farmers' cries as a plea for help in the face of life's hardships. Their livelihood depends on selling melons, and without melons, they would face significant difficulties. This also reflects the plight of some vulnerable groups in society who struggle to make a living, lack stable employment, and sources of income. Instead of facilitating opportunities for citizens to engage in sidewalk businesses, as encouraged by the government nationwide, to help them overcome the challenges stemming from the COVID-19 pandemic, the Chinese government has adopted a stringent approach, imposing fines and confiscating their means of livelihood. They have levied numerous substantial penalties to extract funds from the population. Meanwhile, in the media, they continue to promote the government's purportedly generous support policies aimed at assisting the people of China. In summary, the economic challenges faced by Chinese local governments have prompted a range of measures, including salary cuts, the promotion of entrepreneurship, and the imposition of fines. The human impact is evident in the stories of those directly affected, providing insight into the multifaceted nature of China's current economic situation.